about that. It's fine now, but like those kind of things, you know, like we never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting what Nick's saying. You know, I mean, I would also be like, what the hell if I've got the original Ethereum CryptoPunk, and now it's on Bitcoin. You know, it's quite difficult. The interesting thing is, let's just say that they're not allowed to do it. It's an infringement of Yuga, and let's just say that Yuga sues them. I actually don't know if they are able to reverse it, because I think it is truly immutable now on the Bitcoin blockchain. I don't think it's the same as the Ethereum blockchain. I know it's not the same, but I'm saying I don't think they can actually burn it. Whereas on Ethereum, you can, you know, send it to a burn address or whatever. I don't know yet. I don't think you can. I think it's there forever. Maybe you it all will have to be sent to one centralized wallet that gets, you know, on a ledger, gets put away. But if someone said to you, "Oh, you've got to send your CryptoPunk to me because there's a court case," screw you. You don't know who I am. I've got this Bitcoin in my wallet that's got a CryptoPunk on it. I'm not sending it anywhere, and that might make it even more valuable because some people might send it and then there's less supply. So it's a different ball game altogether, and it's going to be really, really interesting.
Damn, dude. God, just imagine
I
buying
just
a CryptoPunk on ETH and then someone just buying a Bitcoin ordinal, paying more for it. Now your CryptoPunks are at risk of
and it's worth more because it's actually got a piece of Bitcoin attached to it. It's I think it's 1/100 millionth or something like that, the smallest amount that gets its own serial number, because every single tiny piece of Bitcoin or fraction has its own unique serial number.
Yeah.
So, and that's how it's stored. Otherwise, you know, how do you ever track it? And that's why you can always see where it's moving. Every tiny amount, the smallest amount you can send, and you can send 0.00001 Bitcoin, and that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
But that particular Bitcoin through the nodes has now got this image of this CryptoPunk on it.
So
it's so interesting.
It is really interesting. Anthony Lewis, I saw your comment there. He says Bitcoin NFTs will become even more valuable because we'll only ever have 21 million coins ever, and will become rare over time. 90% of NFTs on ETH will go to zero. So kind of with my thinking, and I read Crypto Dream's comment right above it. He said he liked the way I worded what I said a second ago, with the fact that everything's, you know, permanently on the blockchain. If you make a mistake or a misstep, you got to fix it now. And with a big collection, that's very risky, right? The thing is, yes, like, the concept of like 90% of ETH NFTs would go to zero, I don't really agree with. And I think I know what he's saying, but the way that's worded is weird to me, because I'm like, well, if 90% of ETH NFTs would go to zero, we would just bounce over to whatever would make it not go to zero. Like, they would just have to move. And the ones that built the IP strong enough.
But he means exactly what Gary Vee says. Like 90% of the collections that were launched in the bull market a year ago have pretty much gone to zero. I mean, it's already happened.
And so the chances of the Bitcoin NFTs sticking around because they are not infinite and there cannot, and like, well, I don't know. I don't know if for example, if we left all the Bitcoin NFTs, like today, NFTs human beings disappeared, or not human beings. If how do I say this? Like, if we were to fast forward a year and and we just compare the Bitcoin in the ETH NFTs, I think. Actually, I don't have I don't have one. I have no idea. I literally have no idea.
It's freaking interesting. It really is. So this CryptoPunk one, sorry, Kate. This CryptoPunk one is really, really interesting. So obviously not endorsed by Yuga Labs, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens legally there. And even if after a long court battle that's found in the favor of Yuga Labs, are they going to be able to act the way the court says and in any way get these off? I don't think they can, right? So it's now available thanks to the Ordinals project, right? This project works by adding metadata to the Satoshis themselves, which is exactly what we were saying. Satoshis are just a small unit of Bitcoin, and that which creates the unique identifier for each Satoshi, resulting in them being non-fungible and trackable, similar to an NFT. The ability to do this was made possible by two updates to the Bitcoin network, SegWit in 2017 and then Taproot in 2021. So now the full collection of CryptoPunks can be minted, right, on the Bitcoin exchange, but it requires running a full node of the network to validate transactions. The project defines itself as the first 10,000 collection on Bitcoin. While the artwork has been pre-registered on the blockchain, which is what we were saying, they actually had to mint the 10,000 in order to do it. The Satoshis have not yet been tied to them. Anyone interested in minting a CryptoPunk on the Bitcoin blockchain to do so by inscribing a Satoshi with the artwork. Internet researcher who focuses on NFTs explains that the process is an interesting new model for enrollment. And look, I mean, they currently valued at the same as normal CryptoPunks, which is what, 70 ETH at the moment or something like that. So $100,000. So look, if you're willing to invest in a node, which is probably a couple of grand in dollars, and spend a good 2 or 3 days figuring everything out, your return on your investment, you can still mint one, is going to be huge. By the time you figure it out and mint one, are there going to be any left? I don't know. And obviously this is not financial advice, but they are currently selling for the same as a normal CryptoPunk, $100,000. And it will take you a couple of days and a couple of grand to get yourself one as things stand now. So that's interesting, Kate. That's really interesting. It's making me think maybe I need to call in sick and get a node and start minting a couple of CryptoPunks, bro.
I know,
and flipping
bro.
them. I get $100,000 a pop, each one.
How much would you have to? How much is it cost to mint?
Well, you need to get a node, bro, which proper like machine and whatever. So a couple of grand, I would imagine that is, and some time. But then you have to find buyers, and remember, there's no like marketplace.
By that time, people might not give a shit, so it's really difficult. But I also see Crypto Dreams here. He said, what would you do with the CryptoPunk on the other chain? Like, why would you do that? Possibly permanently on Bitcoin too. Like every single chain has their version of punks and apes. Like Elron has the Elron apes, Elron punks. I have an Elron punk. Just because
Solana's got DeGods, well, had DeGods.
So with Bitcoin,
exactly. So why
a little bit more
call it? But I'm saying, why call it? I agree with the Crypto Dream. Why call it CryptoPunks? Why not do completely different artwork and launch the first 10,000 collection on Bitcoin? That's freaking pictures of snakes. Who cares?
There's something I said on the stream yesterday that I thought was interesting. Like, what if so it was because Gary V popped up for some reason, and I was like, dude, what if Gary V never pumped punks in the beginning and instead pumped, like, I don't know, frogs, or like I don't know, like a rock or something that wasn't a PFP, something that wasn't an avatar. Like, could you imagine like how different the NFT space would be if he didn't pump avatars specifically? I was like, oh my god, could you imagine we were all rocking like rocks or moss or like fucking leaf blades?
But the interesting thing about these CryptoPunks is, as of yesterday, there were only 1,100 of the 10,000 minted.
Yeah,
which means that if you know how to do all of this, right, there is definitely a massive opportunity here. And look, I think NFTs on Bitcoin are incredibly interesting, seem to have a higher collectability from the perspective that there's a limited supply, like Anthony was saying, and that they are literally ingrained on the Satoshi, on the transaction of the Bitcoin itself. I think it has a greater future. However, there's a lot of tools like marketplaces and ability to somehow have metadata and things like that, which are going to be very, very challenging, and a proper wallet to be able to see it in and know which one of your Bitcoin or which one of your Satoshi actually has the NFT on it. But I mean, assuming they sort all of that out, which you have to assume they will. And when I say they, I mean the developers out there, just normal devs and people who see this as a massive opportunity, which it is. If tomorrow there was an equivalent of an OpenSea with Bitcoin NFTs on it that could be easily transacted the way we can with Ethereum NFTs, I would rather have a Bitcoin NFT than an ETH NFT.
Damn, yo! Oh man, I thought I had one of those buttons for like the ba 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 ba.
How's that? And I mean it.
You mean that?
I mean it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So
because of the way it is.
I want to give you a punk that you can't sell for a year. You have to pick one though. Do you want Nick's CryptoPunk from ETH, or do you want his counterpart on Bitcoin? You would choose the Bitcoin.
That's a great question. No. Hold on. I'm not saying no or yes. That's a great question because there's a lot more factors inside of there. are they going to be able to solve these problems? Is there going to be marketplaces? Is it going to be able to have metadata and be displayed as a collection? I don't know that that's possible, the metadata side, because you need a smart contracts in that, and Bitcoin does not allow for that layer 2 the way that ETH does. So you're taking a big gamble now, saying send me a Bitcoin punk instead of an Ethereum one. The Ethereum punk we know will be worth something in a year's time.
Maybe.
The Bitcoin one could be worth 10 times that, or could be worth close to zero, depending on whether they can overcome these challenges. Now, some of them they can. I do think it's very easy to overcome the wallet challenge, for example, to create a wallet that nicely displays it and shows you which one of your Satoshis has an NFT on it. But as I said, the metadata and things like that, I'm not 100% sure. So it's a very difficult question to answer. If I was a complete degenerate gambler, I would say the Bitcoin one. If I was being more conservative and the safer, end of the year value, I would say Ethereum. The more interesting question would be maybe 10 years from now or 100 years from now. I think the longer the time frame goes that I have to hold it, the more bullish I become on the Bitcoin NFT, because then there's been more time to bridge the gap and overcome the challenges. But the fact that this is a thing now and becoming a thing now, I do think that we've got the attention of the guys who are going to make solutions to make it cool. And it's going to be on Bitcoin, a part of the Bitcoin currency, literally a Satoshi itself.
So the thing that Crypto Dream said here, I really don't trust where ETH is going. ETH has become very centralized. He didn't say that, but this is me kind of adding on. ETH has become more and more centralized. People are becoming more and more aware of that, which pushes the narrative of Bitcoin stronger than ETH. But there's so many people so heavily invested in ETH. The real question is, will Bitcoin NFTs become easier? Will there be marketplaces as big? Will OpenSea adopt Bitcoin NFTs? Like, if those things start to happen and we start to see a move towards Bitcoin NFTs, then I think we do jump into that, because I think Bitcoin NFTs could be much, much stronger play than ETH NFTs. But it's only if it takes. If we come back in 3 weeks and no one's talking about ordinals anymore.
No. It will take if they can overcome the challenges.
Exactly.
The problem is that you don't have the ability to build on Bitcoin like you do on Ethereum. As far as contracts and layers, that's where there's a real challenge here. Like how we're sitting here talking, when I could be buying a node and learning how to mine a Satoshi with a Cryptopunk on it, which is guaranteed for now, right this second, to be worth close to $100,000 or more. It's too complicated for me to do. No, I'm sure I could apply my mind to it. It's too much freaking effort, right? Now, if it stays like that forever, then no, it won't take off. It will always be an elite group of people who know how to do this. And who are those same people going to sell it to if there's only 100,000, like 10,000 NFTs and only like 2,000 people actually know how to use a node, right? Or want to use a node.
I just want to know how they're not minting more. Like, I feel like the people who
it's really difficult. No, it must be. There must be a limitation on it. Otherwise, everyone would be minting. Yeah. I don't know that answer for sure, but I'm just assuming there must be other, which I don't know how they would enforce, Cade. You see, they've already minted them in order for them to be there, so they would need to be sending them to you. So they would probably know wallet-wise, or they can track and know. Not 100% sure. It's a good question, but I don't think someone could mint all 10,000. I think they probably thought of that. But it is stupid that they haven't done their own thing yet, that they've called it Cryptopunks. It's stupid. It's stupid. Call it Bitcoin Punks and have completely different artwork. Who cares? Then you're saying we are the OGs of Bitcoin NFTs. We're the first 10,000 collection on Bitcoin, but you're not opening yourself up to the risk of down the line potential conflict with Yuga, copyright laws, and whatever it might be.
That one's tough, dude. Anthony says I'm applying my mind to get a node, get in and out before the trend dies. Damn. Yeah, go for it, Anthony. Good luck.
No, look, serious. I think really. I mean, I'm considering it. I got to do a bit of research. I don't know where to even start, but I think I think